Hey everyone, I am Scott today with Cipher Division. I'm commander of Cipher Division. Awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this initiative, by the way. Like, I'm super pumped about being in charge of my own media empire. I'm really excited. You know, we all have to start from somewhere. And launching Cipher Division in the past like 24, 48 hours has been one of the coolest things that I've ever been able to experience. But now, today, since I just did a video on Michael Knowles discussing destiny and political rhetoric, let's just have some fun with some YouTube shorts. It's not, like I said before, I enjoy making these videos, and it's won't always be about business. Sometimes it's for pleasure. So let's look at some YouTube shorts today. Honestly, I should probably get on TikTok too, but I just don't really want to go through the trouble of that, to be quite frank. But because I don't really want to use it for anything other than just watching things. But anyway, let's do it.
Niggas out here snitching, they with the rat pack. Hit them with the chopper, that's the rat trap. Find them in that trash bag off the interstate.
That's kind of funny. If I had a good relationship with my father, I would maybe do like a video like this. This is kind of funny, but I don't. My dad sucks, so.
Right, what are you doing?
I'm a bit salty, but whatever. I'm allowed to be salty. Just a little bit. My dad kind of sucks.
Right, what are you doing? You're being such a baby. Right.
We are, look, we're allowed to laugh at this stuff. We're allowed to laugh a bit. We are. This is just the fact that it's coming from Hassan. It makes it funny because he already has questionable morals and commitments to journalistic integrity. I mean, he's not an official journalist, but he certainly reports like one, and he certainly takes himself seriously like one. So we can laugh at this stuff, 100%. I'm not a fuddy-duddy. I'm allowed to laugh. I'm allowed to enjoy things, like Michael Knowles' cigars. I can enjoy them.
There's so many of these. Right, what are you doing?
The internet will always find a way to take a tragedy or something that's really hard or difficult to process and turn it into like a meme. Like, it just does that, man. That is one of the cool things about the internet.
Whenever I think of 7 times 3 being 21, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
What?
But 7 times 8 being 56 is like deeply suspicious.
Why?
Whenever I think.
Wait, why is 7 times 8 being 56 deeply suspicious? Okay then. What am I missing something? 111 being divisible by 37 and not 11 is like the biggest betrayal. 10 times 10 being 100 is the one thing you can trust in life. Wait a minute. I want to know. I want to know. Like, I understand, like, on a number line why the number wouldn't be divisible by 11. I can see that. But look, can we have a philosophical answer to that? Why is 11 not divisible, or why is 111 not divisible by 11? Okay, sorry. Why is not divisible by? Can I have like an actual answer, like a real philosophical answer? This is important. The divisivity rule of 11 states that a number is divisible by 11 if the difference between the sums of the digits in odd places and the sums of the digits in even places is either 0 or divisible by 11. Since 111 is not divisible by 11, it follows that 1. That's not really an answer. What? It is not a factor of it. 11 goes into 110 10 times. So there would be 1 left over. Okay, that's what I want to know. I mean, I just want to know, like, whatever. I keep doing that. I need a better setup. Whatever. I'm new at this. I'm not a streamer. I'm not an influencer. I'm new at this, dude. Okay? Jesus Christ. I just saw Spark down there. BRB. Hello? I hear something happening on here. I thought I heard a dog getting into something. Anyway, I thought I heard a dog getting into something out there, and I had to make sure that nobody. Do you guys like my camo? You can't see me. I'm just a floating head. Okay, let's stop talking about math.
I asked him last night. I said, "Honey, what are we talking about tomorrow?" And he goes, "I don't know, like family, life, maybe about the election." And I was like, "You're lucky. I don't need note cards." He goes, "I know. That's why I married you." I asked him last night, I said, honey, what are we talking
About to join the Mile High Club.
So you really stole my car, went to your...
About to join the Mile High Club.
Hold on. Hey.
I asked him.
I don't care about this stuff. I don't want to get in, I don't want this channel or what Cipher Division does to talk about, like, a person's marriage. I don't give a shit, dude. Whatever. There are plenty of things to accurately critique Charlie Kirk on, and there are things that you can critique Eric Kirk on following his death, and you can certainly critique how Republicans have turned his death into a spectacle, into a recruitment drive. I'm not saying anything illegal or factually incorrect. You can look at what they've been doing on social media. You can look at the Charlie Kirk Memorial. You can see that it was definitely a recruitment initiative. It was basically a campaign rally for Trump and for MAGA. I don't care about relationships or people's personal marriages. Doesn't matter to me. We can still debate the facts of something without going in on this. Like, who cares about this? I don't care about this shit. Who cares?
About to join the Mile High Club. Help me! Help me! Land the plane!
Hey, we are still on the ground, asshole!
This is funny. This is a good skit. I know it's a skit and a fake plan. I want to believe he just asked the attendant manager to really film it. This is cool. I like this guy. He's really funny.
So you really stole my car, went to your ex's house, kidnapped her dog, came back to my house, went inside and fucked my dad on the kitchen table, spilling Pepsi everywhere.
Pepsi. First of all, it wasn't Pepsi. It was Dr. Pepper. Get your facts straight before you start coming at
Jesse,
somebody.
you fucked my dad.
That's kind of funny. I mean, honestly, that actually happens in real life. People just focus on the wrong things in the arguments. They focus on really weird details and not the actual important thing. Yeah.
Hey, you. What's up? Do you want one sushi?
I'm a nerd, dude. I'm breaking down, like, YouTube skits, like, academically. Oh my god. I just heard myself. I'm a fucking nerd. Holy shit. Wow.
Hey, you. What's up? Do you want one sushi roll or double it and give it to the next person?
Double it and give it to the next person.
All right, doubling it. Now we got to find our next person. Hey, you.
I wasn't expecting that, dude. I was not expecting that. I thought this was gonna be a whole, like, double it, give it to the next. I didn't think it was a whole thing like that.
About damn time. I wanted to talk to you about car insurance, not a duel at high noon.
I hope this is real. I hope this is legitimate, like he wanted to have a talk with him, and it's a real thing. I hope this is not a skit, because this is fucking funny. This is funny. I want to have a talk man to man. My dad, before he went off the deep end and became a prick to me, okay? My dad would say shit to me, like, I want to talk to you, like, man to man. And I'm like, what the fuck does he want? What do you mean? Wait, am I in trouble? I don't like that. Talk to me. But I realize as an adult now, I'm always saying to people, hey, I want to talk to you man to man. Like a fucking duel at high noon. I love it. All right, let's go on to the next one.
How do you meet Kurt Cobain and form Nirvana with him?
They were a funny band. They hadn't really found the right drummer yet. And we would just go in the room and he'd start playing something and we'd just play along and then it would become a song. And I was perfectly happy. I was like disco drumming. I was just going doosh, dash, doosh, doosh, dash.
How do you meet Kurt Cobain?
I told it's really easy to forget that Dave Grohl was in Nirvana. Holy shit, like, then he formed his own legendary band, which is insane.
Let's talk about that Katie Porter interview. So if you don't know, Katie Porter, she's running to be the governor of California, and you had Julie Watts, who covers the state of California.
I remember when Philip DeFranco used to have an intro where he would have like a chimp, like make a noise, like a chimp noise. I remember I was back in the day watching Philip DeFranco when before he said the beautiful bastard thing and all the. I remember old school Philly D when he had the this is a new show and then like the monkey. I remember that. It's kind of cool to see how much he's evolved since then.
For CBS, interviewing her. Right, and you had Watts sitting down with this pool of candidates to discuss issues.
This Katie Porter interview is damning and really makes me nervous for the current state of politics. Look, California, what California doesn't really affect what I think about in my day-to-day life. I'm from Illinois. I don't really care which way they decide to have leadership in California. As long as it's democratic and people are voting and it's fair and it's balanced and it's not, illegal or suppressing voters, I don't really care. As long as they're following the law and they're honoring the Constitution and they're honoring, current laws and our democratic process, whatever. But this was damning because this makes me nervous for the current state of politics, because we should not be so comfortable to attack journalists for simply doing their jobs.
In the state. For some reason, things got quickly heated between Porter
Not sure why it got so hairy.
and Watts during this question.
What do you say to the 40% of...
By the way, I know I keep pausing, but quite frankly, I want to have some commentary. I don't want it to just be content, and I also kind of like the sound of my own voice. Whatever, sue me.
California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're
saying. In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
I've said this before. You know, we've talked about this on this channel before. You must be able to. You have to be able to win your enemies. Politics is about hearts and minds. You're going to get your base for the most part, unless you completely fuck it up. You will get your voter base. You will get the people that are on your side, but you need to be able to earn the votes from the opposition and even the moderates. And this is a really piss poor example. I don't even know how the hell she considers herself to be a viable candidate if she can't even understand that basic premise. Like, you need the opposition. You need to be able to swing the moderates. You can't just win with your base alone. I don't understand what she's saying. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
You then had Watts asking how Porter can guarantee that she's going to be the only Democrat, to which Porter then suggested, she has the support and the name recognition to pull it off, and then added,
I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. Mm-hmm. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't think
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer.
I feel like it would help. I feel like you do kind of need them to win. Like, I don't understand how you can win without having a massive base to not even vote for you. I don't. Why is she being so combative? Like,
and we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you.
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
Answer a question, dude? Seriously? Oh, God, that's a Karen right there, dude. That is a Karen. Wow, dude. Like, what is this comment? Porter is right. Nobody asks Republicans how they're going to reach across the aisle. They're asked to typically appeal to miles more. That's the stage of political games, unfortunately, realistically. Yikes, dude. I don't understand what the hell this is. Like, why can't she just answer questions? You know what I mean? Yikes.
You and I had a banter.
Is it gay to sleep with a shirt but nothing below the waist?
No.
No. Is gay?
I don't like the question anyway. I know it's just a comedy show or whatever, but like, I don't like the whole, is it gay? It's like, what is it, 2002? You know what I mean? We're better than that. But, man, dude, sleep in what you want to sleep in, dude. Whatever makes you comfortable. Sleep's really important. So I'm taking this seriously. Like, I'm breaking it down academically, and I realize it doesn't deserve that. But whatever. That's what we do at this channel, okay?
It's gay to sleep with a dude. That's the real litmus test, I think.
What?
Onward.
Is it gay to sleep with a shirt but nothing below the waist?
The old Donald Duck.
A little breakfast before we get to Florida.
Do you know what the leading cause of death for pregnant people is?
Pregnant people?
Mm-hmm.
Mothers? Women?
If you'd like to call them mothers, not all of them are mothers, but if you'd like to call them that.
What are they if they're not mothers?
They're pregnant people.
What people other than mothers are pregnant?
It's interesting because you come into this conversation, trying to hold this moral superiority. But when I use inclusive language, which it only takes a couple extra syllables to use inclusive language,
to include
and
who?
It seems to include people who don't identify as women but can become pregnant.
So you're telling me that in order to be a moral person...
I don't even like Michael Knowles, but we have to stop. We have to stop giving these people on the left a platform. Whoever this person is right here, I'm serious. This is not a conversation. It's like you don't win points by using inclusive language or giving a scenario where a person who doesn't identify as a woman can be pregnant. I'm just, is that the conversation really? Is that where we should focus the conversation regarding pregnant people, or maybe like the abortion conversation? Is that really what we should be focusing on? I mean, I'm telling you, I think this is why a lot of people either didn't vote for Harris or the moderates voted for the right, because of this kind of shit here. This is not a real conversation. Let's watch this again. I'm just watching. Okay.
For pregnant people is?
Pregnant people?
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Do you know what the leading cause of death for pregnant people is?
I want to know what the leading cause of death for pregnant women. Homicide. Primarily linked to an intimate partner violence and firearms. This alarming trend highlights the need for increased awareness for preventive measures to protect. Okay. Homicide. All right.
Pregnant people?
Mm-hmm.
What he should do, but he knows what he's doing. He's trying to like rile the leftist people and like kind of poke at them a bit and get them to get trapped in definitions. What he should do is say, okay, what is the leading cause of death? That's a real conversation. This is a very nonpartisan conversation. Like you can say it, you can be like, hey, I, Michael Knowles, who believes abortion's a sin or whatever, agree with you that homicide is a real problem, that we need to figure out a way to protect pregnant women from that. That's a real conversation. We cannot get so bogged down in definitions, but that doing so gives Michael and his people more credence. It allows them to dunk on the libs, and then it allows the libs to never really have a difficult conversation. If they can get so focused on having definitions only, or focusing on inclusivity or whatever, if they can only focus on language and inclusive words and tolerance, it basically prevents leftists from ever really having a real conversation. So it feeds both sides. It feeds agendas and goals from both sides when you focus only on definitions and the language you use versus the actual content of the conversation.
Mothers? Women?
If you'd like to call them mothers, not all of them are mothers, but if you'd like to call them that.
What are they if they're not mothers?
They're pregnant people.
What people other than mothers are pregnant?
It's interesting because you come into this conversation, trying to hold this moral superiority. But when I use inclusive language, which it only takes a couple extra syllables to use inclusive language,
to include
and
who?
It seems to include people who don't identify as women but can become pregnant.
This is not the important part of the conversation. The leading cause of death for pregnant people, is homicide. Let's focus on that. Focusing only on tolerance or inclusive language, I'm telling you, it makes you look like you don't know what you're talking about. It takes all your credibility away. My problem with the left in America is this. It's this focus on inclusive language, intolerance, and people who identify as A, B, or C. Nobody cares. The conversation is homicide. Let's focus on that.
So you're telling me that
as 21 Savage said, 21 Savage, homicide, hold on, teddy bears, mama cry. What's up, Lyric? I want to know, we don't, okay, here we go. As 21 Savage said, oh, no. Hold on. I'm going to find it, damn it. We don't participate in with that squash and shit. All we believe is in homicide. I got a good heart, so I send teddy bears every time we make their mamas cry. Okay? We should focus on the leading cause of death, which is homicide. We should not focus on language or inclusive language or tolerance. All right? We don't participate in with that squash and shit. All we believe in is homicide, all right? Okay. I love that song. It's so good.
in order to be a moral person, I need to accept the idea that a man can really become a woman. That's
a fair conversation. Yeah, in order to be seen as moral or seen as moral enough to participate in a conversation, I have to agree that a man, by definition, can get pregnant. I don't agree with that. I agree with what he's saying. That's not the conversation. Again, I want to talk about the leading cause for pregnant women, but I don't think either side really cares about pregnant women. I really don't. I don't think conservatives do when they try to strip reproductive rights, and I don't think certain people on the left care either. When all they want to focus on is language and inclusivity and tolerance and identifying as this. They don't. I don't think people like this woman here. I don't think she cares about pregnant women. I think there are people that care about. I think there are women that care about pregnant women. But she has a platform because her goal is to push this inclusive, woke, tolerance, syllable, conversation, definition agenda. It's not about pregnant women. If it were, she would have jumped right into leading cause of death is homicide. That's a real conversation, but she doesn't care. She doesn't care. We need better. Okay, dear left, liberal, whatever people, we need better women on the left that are willing to have the conversation regarding this topic. Stop with the definitions and the identities and the virtue signaling and the woke shit. We need a woman to say, you know what, the real cause of death for pregnant women is homicide, and that's a horrible thing. We need to come up with solutions to stop that. This person, whoever she is not the person to represent pregnant women or women on the left, because she is not having that conversation. She is only focused on pushing a weird gender ideology agenda. She doesn't care about pregnant women. If she did, she'd have the conversation right away. She would have that now, but she's so focused on definitions.
You're telling me that in order to be a moral person, I need to accept the idea that a man can really become a woman. That's a prerequisite of my being a moral person.
I mean, yes.
I would like to identify, I do identify actually, as the correct person on this issue. And I would just ask that you accept and affirm my identity.
That's not your identity.
That is my identity. I promise you, that's my identity.
This is not a real conversation. He's not the person to talk to about this stuff either. Here's what I'm saying. I, Scott Scully, commander of Cipher Division, I am willing to have a conversation with anybody on the left or right regarding this topic here. Right? Come with facts, come prepared. We will talk about the leading cause of death for pregnant women in the U.S., which is homicide. I don't want to talk about definitions. I don't want to talk about abortion being a sin. I don't want to talk about people who identify as being pregnant who are not women, who are. I don't want to talk about any of that shit. I want to talk about for pregnant women, biological women, the leading cause of death. I want to talk about the stats. I don't want to talk about identities and genders and people who identify as this or tolerance or syllables or language. I don't want to talk about abortion. I don't want to talk about any of that shit. Left, right, I don't care. We'll talk about this topic. I will challenge anybody to that debate. Please comment below on this video, right? Comment. Tell me that you want to have a conversation about this topic at hand. I don't talk about anything else. Just this, because this is reality. Everything else is fantasy. All right.
Do you know?
A little breakfast. What does this mean in English? Because somebody said it means love and peace.
The high school I went to had health careers program.
Today, Vice President J.D. Vance was on the Sunday shows saying government shutdowns inevitable.
You're a vegan, I'm a meat eater. Why can't we just both live happily in each other's orbit? Why can't you let me just get on with eating meat and you eat your gruel and we'll all go home happy? You can all be as hangry as you like and not have meat. I don't believe in the science of a strictly vegan diet. If vegan diets work, a lot of animals wouldn't eat other animals.
Do you believe in the climate crisis?
I don't know if this was even this is dumb. This is dumb.
What's your drug?
Here's is not being charitable.
You're a vegan.
He could say like, hey, you eat what you want to eat, I'll eat what I want to eat. It's fine, but he had to he had to make it personal. Oh, you can eat your gruel, you can be hangry. Like this is dumb. I think vegans are stupid, to be honest with you. I don't think they have any real basis for having that diet. I think we are meant to eat meat in addition to fruits and vegetables. We're omnivores, right? I think the science pretty much clears that. I think vegans really, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they care about the environment so much. I think it's all about control. It's all about what they want, what they believe in. It's all purely emotion driven. They'll post a picture of a close-up shot of a cow's eye and say, how could you eat that? It's looking right at you. Like, it's all emotion. There's no science. They don't have any science supporting their beliefs. Okay. They don't. We have science and nutrition that has supported for the longest time the benefits of a carnivore diet. Not really carnivore though. I would say more of an omnivore diet where there's carnivore aspects in there. I don't think I think there is I think the entire vegan movement is purely run on emotion. Meat's good for you. It's healthy. There's all sorts of minerals and vitamins you can get from that. There's protein in there. I think veganism is an extremely privileged lifestyle that is 100% emotion driven and about control, which is why I can eat a steak and just be happy and not brag to somebody about it, but they'll eat a mushroom burger and go on Twitter and rail against everyone that eats steaks. There is a difference culturally between omnivores or carnivores and the vegans. The vegans tend to look down at people who don't do what they do. I just think it's ridiculous. You have no credence or science or real nutritional base for believing in what you believe in. I'm not saying there isn't nutritional value. I'm just saying that you don't have enough science or nutritional education to completely discredit or prove wrong that a carnivore diet is less than being a vegan. Yeah, if a vegan diet worked, then they wouldn't need to make supplements to get benefits. That's very true. No kidding. Bees.
What's
You're
about bees?
a vegan, I'm a meat eater. Why can't we just both live happily in each other's orbit? Why can't you let me just get on with eating meat and you eat your gruel and we'll all go home happy? You can all be as hangry as you like and not have meat. I don't believe in the science of
I have to make it personal, but whatever.
a strictly vegan diet. If vegan diets work, a lot of animals wouldn't eat other animals.
Do you believe in the climate crisis?
Yes.
Agriculture, farming and fishing is a leading cause of the climate crisis.
You know what's also a leading cause of climate crisis?
Oh, sorry. Huh. Okay, farming nitrous oxide. Okay. Farming. Okay. I just want to see, but it's not like the leading cause. It's a contributing factor to the gases. I don't see anything about fishing here. Farming. Greenhouse gases produced by farming practices, nitrous oxide. So it's mostly the green. It's the four major gases. Okay. Methane comes from plant matter breakdown, wetlands, also relates from landfills and rice farming. She's not telling the whole truth. She's saying farming and fishing is the leading cause. No, it can contribute to nitrous oxide and methane. But also burning fossil fuels and deforestation. Those are massive causes. I mean, come on. I can go to NASA.gov and disprove her in a second.
There's planes which carry vast amounts of your avocados and your almonds from California and fly them thousands of miles to your table here in your vegan cafes. And then they also go in trucks. And
Okay, so I have to say this. I commend Piers Morgan for basically saying that the travel taking avocados or almonds or via plane or trucks, like the supply chain aspect of moving these food products from one location to another, thousands of miles over big territory, right? The carbon footprint of that transportation portion of that supply chain, right, is contributing to climate change. I like that he can support this here, but he platforms a lot of people that completely deny it. But I will give him credit where credit's due. That he is accurately describing, hey, your lifestyle, your over-reliance on non-meat products is causing stresses on the supply chain. Now, I will say you can argue that transporting meat from one location to another can do that too. You know what I mean? But it is interesting that he said that they don't think of that. Yes, they consume things that aren't living or creatures, right? But the way that they get their products, okay, it contributes to the effect of greenhouse gases.
my response to you destroying all these things is to have a Big Mac. Because you know what? It's a free country, it's a democracy, and I'm allowed to eat meat, and I'm certainly allowed to eat meat when someone who kills bees to feed their avocado habit minds. When someone who kills bees to feed their avocado.
What does that claim? Killing bees, avocado. Avocado farming does not intentionally kill bees. However, the use of pesticides in commercial agriculture can pose risks to bee populations. So I don't think it's fair to accuse vegans of killing bees. It's not. That's not what the science says. But the role of bees in pollination, avocado trees rely heavily on bees pollination. Without these pollinators, the production of avocados would severely be compromised, leading to lower yields. And types of pollinators, while honeybees are primarily pollinators, other insects such as social bees, hoverflies also contribute. Okay. Pesticides and bees. The use of pesticides in avocado farming can be harmful to bees, especially if applied incorrectly or during flowering periods. Okay, so that does happen. Commercial beekeeping, the practice of migratory beekeeping has raised concerns of health, safety, vegan perspective. Some argue the use of bees in avocado raises ethical questions for vegans. However, some avocado farming does not aim to harm bees, rather relies on their health. So, okay. So it's not really fair for Piers Morgan to say, while avocado farming itself does not kill bees, the associated agricultural practices, particularly use of pesticides, can pose a different risk to bee population. So it's not really fair for Piers to blame vegans for killing bees. What he could say is the pesticides used in avocado farming could potentially harm bees. This is a very important food for vegans. Are you aware that your over-reliance on this product is causing harm? Like, can you acknowledge that your practice, your over-reliance on this product, this food, could potentially cause harm through the use of pesticides? That's a real conversation, but it's not really a buzzword. It's not really like a gotcha moment. It's not as sexy as saying you're killing bees. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me see this.
What's your?
I just think, look, she's an idiot. I also think it's weird that Piers is like going to eat a burger like in front of her. Like, can you just have some respect in class? But again, he's somewhat political. He's somewhat entertaining. It's a mixture. It is what it is.
What's your drug of choice?
Probably cocaine.
Listen, man, we don't know each other, but literally the only interaction we've ever had is you called me, I think, a devil and one of the worst people in America the other day, also for sharing a clip of somebody else.
If I kidnap you, am I your homie?
Hell no.
No way. If I kidnap you,
No way. Honestly, no. I mean, all memes aside, I'm not memeing. No, all memes aside, I actually, when I watch the porn, I actually enjoy looking at the cock. Like, there's something empowering when I look at the cock and I look at the girth and the tree branch vein.
We need to do something about streamers. They do not contribute to discourse at all. I'm like, wow, yikes, dude, yikes.
She said I got tickets to Iron Maiden. Come with me Friday, don't say maybe. I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby like you. She said I got tickets to Iron Maiden, baby. Come with me Friday, don't say maybe. I'm just a teenage.
How come I've never heard of this band? Am I seriously under a rock? Holy shit, they sang Teenage Dirtbag. What? How did I never know? I'm serious. What? That's fucking incredible. 20 years and he still sounds like that. Like, incredible. Wow. I didn't know. I didn't know it was like, I didn't know this was like them. You just hear it on the radio, like, oh, it's a good song, whatever. You never you don't pick it together unless you're like a fan. You know what I mean? Holy shit, that's incredible. That was good.
What the f are you saying? It's the most bizarre headline.
Michael, do you know what the leading cause of death for pregnant people is?
Pregnancy.
Sorry, that's
What's going on, family? We are here at the beginning of the Chalahala Skyway. We are at the Skyway Mart. We're just sitting here refreshing real quick so that we can go.
This guy has blood on his hands. He wants to kill people. Don't listen to him.
I love people.
He's taking people's number down and trying to get them arrested for getting health care.
I deny those allegations. So I'm just here to support life. Life was hard for me, single mother, but the hard times made me a more empathetic person. And I love all these people.
I wish there was more context.
I don't like your t-shirt. I'm an immigrant. I don't understand why you would want to deport some of my friends and family who have been working hard in this country.
What's your name, sorry?
I'm Claudio, sir.
Yeah, Claudio. And this is just a thought exercise, but it's very revealing. You are king. And you find out that there are 30 million uninvited people in your country.
Trump is not a king. Like, I'm sorry that Charlie Kirk got killed, but Trump is not a king. The president is not a king. You can't equate deporting people without due process, which is what ICE has been doing a lot. In America, when we aren't in monarchy, we are a constitutional republic, right? We're a democratic republic. You cannot equate to what we are doing in America to what a hypothetical king should or should not do. Seriously, we don't have kings in this country. We have a president. We have a vice president.
Country. What do you do with them?
I try to find the most.
He should answer the question. He should say, oh, man, I wish Charlie were alive so I can have a conversation with him. I wish I can go to one of these and have a talk with him and be like, hey, we are not a monarchy. You can't sit here and say a thought exercise, what would you do if you were a king? We don't have kings here. Talk about, if you want to do the thought exercise, then say, what would you do if you were a president and there was a crisis at the border? I'd say, hey, we have an asylum process that needs a revamping. We also have issues with ICE agents, abducting people, arresting them for no reason. Yes, they let them go later, but sometimes they deport them too without due process. My point is, you can't have a conversation. I wish these young college students would think before just reacting. What they're doing is reacting. He's saying, I'm an immigrant, I'm this. He's already too emotionally invested in this. Tell Charlie Kirk, hey, Mr. Kirk, we don't have kings here. You can't give me a hypothetical thought exercise when you start off and say, what would you do if you were a king? Well, it doesn't apply here. This is America. This is not a monarchy, right? This isn't Britain during the 1700s. This isn't a monarchy. This is a constitutional republic.
Most humane way of sending him back to our country. But first of all, I want to say
that's what we're doing.
Wait,
that's what we're doing. So what country did you emigrate from?
That's not what you're doing. Well, you can't call it humane when ICE is pushing down journalists and tear gassing protesters and putting children in zip ties. That's not humane. I'm confused at look, I'm sorry that he's dead, okay, but he's not being factual at all. He's not living in reality. He's spinning propaganda. That's all this is.
Are you gonna discriminate against me?
Look, this guy.
I don't like your T-shirt.
You disagree with
me.
If you disagree with me, then bring me on one of your shows. Megyn Kelly, Piers Morgan, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro, Glenn Beck, Anna Kasparian. Hell, I'll even go on hers. Tommy Long. I don't care. Bring me on your show. That's not humane when you're putting children in zip ties and deporting people without due process or abducting them before immigration appointments when they're on the schedule. Also, you can't have a thought exercise. What would you do if you were a king? We don't have kings here, right? This is America. This is not a monarchy. This is a democratic government.
Didn't follow the rules.
True.
So I divide America not into Hispanic and white, into rule follower and rule breaker.
Yeah.
And so when someone breaks...
What do you do when ICE is breaking the rules, which they have been documented on doing so?
Our rules, they're...
Where is it in the rules that says Kristi Noem is able to have a senator thrown to the ground and detained and removed from a public forum when all he was doing was expressing his right to free speech, asking a question in a public press conference? Where is the rule there?
Must be justice done. And the most humane way is you go back to your country of origin.
Some of my boys, they're being persecuted back home, them and their families, they're in drug related
Which is why we have an asylum process that allows people to come here and claim that they're seeking asylum. And then so they can have a conversation with somebody, potentially, become citizens here, get jobs here, contribute, pay taxes, get health care. I'm telling you right now, we have a process so people can leave and flee war zones or dangerous areas with civil wars or conflicts or terrorism or persecution from their own governments. We have an asylum process that desperately needs to be revamped.
Wars and violence, and the only way out is if they escape and they break the American law, but that's the only way they're going to survive.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm curious if Charlie Kirk's family immigrated to America, because I'm two halves, right? I am half Italian, half Irish, and I traced my lineage when I was in high school. I had people come from Ireland, and I had people come from Italy. Okay. So we are a nation of immigrants. We are quite literally the melting pot. So to sit here and say, go back to your country, to want to get rid of the asylum process, to deport everybody that's not American, to allow ICE to just simply profile people racially and not deport through due process at all, is completely antithetical to what it means to be American. It's opposite of what our values entail. Okay. Charlie Kirk, I looked it up right now. His family, they are of immigrant descent. His family is primarily European American. You could trace ancestry back to Scotland and other parts of Europe, though exactly these details have not been publicly documented. His grandparents were already here in the U.S. long before his birth. Okay, cool. And his father, Robert Kirk, was an architect who worked for the Trump Tower project in New York. That's weird. No wonder why this guy was famous. But it's all nepotism, dude. It's all nepotism. So he's got people from Scotland and other parts of Europe. Great. Okay. So how can you sit there and say go back to your own country when you are literally from a different country? When your lineage can be traced to non-American roots? We're all here. Most of us are a nation of immigrants. This nation is a nation of Ellis Island, the melting pot. That's what we are as Americans. That's facts. That's not emotion. That's just pure facts.
Survive. If that is correct, we have a special asylum status that they could seek legally at a port of entry, that they could go through a whole process.
But if they're being persecuted, wouldn't it be justified to cut the line?
No. If we all of a sudden say that if you have a lot of gang violence and issues, I mean, like, we have a lot of gang violence and issues. Like, what are we talking about here?
True.
Yeah, okay, but hold on a second here. Hold on a second. Asylum process. Let's see what's going on here. We'll keep that 21 Savages. Okay. Is ICE respecting the asylum process? Are asylum seekers safe? Huh. Well, obviously they're not going to say it. They're not going to, yeah. Hold on a second. I want to find this out myself. Give me a sec. Is ICE respecting the asylum process? See, Charlie Kirk is mentioning the asylum process here. But they're claiming that there's, Here's the thing. The conservatives are claiming that there's this crisis, this migrant crisis right now, and that we're being invaded by foreign invaders, foreign adversaries, right? ICE is not consistently respecting the asylum process in practice. There are serious, documented ways in which ICE and other agencies interfere with, undermine with due process, okay? Here's what the asylum process looks like, okay? Individuals can apply for asylum when physically present in the U.S. or any port of entry. He's right. They have to show a well-founded fear of persecution based on protected grounds: race, religion, nationality, political opinion, membership in a particular social group. Asylum seekers are legally entitled to due process, a hearing, a chance to present evidence, legal representation, though not guaranteed by the state, and fair adjudication. The system also includes expedited removal or fast-track parts, but those are controversial and limited by law. Okay? Boom. Easy. ICE or related law enforcement undermining it in practice. They have this expedited removal or rubber stamp system. Some asylum seekers are subjected to expedited removal without meaningful review or appeal. The Family Expedited Removal Program firm is an example where timelines are compressed, legal access limited, and due process impaired. Okay, one example. Defective notices to appear, NTAs. ICE has issued NTAs missing critical information, hearing date, time, place, or with dummy dates, making it impossible for the asylum seeker to prepare properly or even know when to show up. Okay? That's what's happening here. You can't just say we have a process, but then not include how ICE is getting around it or other agencies are getting around it. Over-enforcement causing missed hearings in absentia orders. Many asylum seekers lose the chance to present their case because of logistical issues, transfers, or ICE actions delaying or complicating court appearances. This is from, the first two things was the National Immigrant Justice Center, UCLA Law Review, New York Legal Assistance Group, ACLU. Asylum seekers with limited English or indigenous languages are often denied adequate translation or interpretation, which violates their ability to fully understand and participate. Boom. Harsh detention conditions is from the ACLU of Northern California. ICE facilities have frequent reports of poor medical care, abuse, and unfit living conditions. These conditions can inhibit a person's ability to prepare their case or meaningful engage in legal processes. So this matters because what you can't do is turn the lights off randomly because you stepped on the cord. Whoops. Let me try it again. No, but this matters, and I wish Kirk were alive so that I could address him on this, fully and formally. You can't cite the asylum seeking process when ICE has found numerous ways to get around it. Look, there's backlogs and delays. There's court arrests. ICE has arrested asylum seekers at the courthouse while waiting to appear before judges. That is, I said this before I even looked it up. And this is from, what is this from? SF Gate. ICE stormed SF court to arrest 4 asylum seekers denounced as unlawful. You can't sit here and say that cite asylum process when ICE is completely finding multiple ways to go around it, okay? The fact of the matter is, yes, we do have an asylum-seeking process, but ICE and other agencies have found numerous ways to go around it and undermine it and make it harder for the process to actually work. Unlawful, without due process, and potentially illegal. So again, Kirk is an example of a guy on the right who just doesn't know what he's talking about. But he got a lot of popularity because he comes across as, I want to have conversations, I'm respectful, I won't call you names. But then he flat out lies or ignores very real things that are impairing the process, like asylum seeking.
You have to draw.
When you look at Elon Musk, he seems like
every single morning, you have to win your first hour. And what do I mean by that? This simple.
Did you see that video? No, it's bananas.
If I paid you £70 now, would you admit that this country would be nothing without our rich history of immigration?
Well, I tell you what. And this is what's gone wrong. Because you talk about immigration, and it ran from after the war up until the millennium, at net 30 to 40,000 a year. And yes, it worked. In fact, we had the most successful immigration policies of any country in the whole of Europe, no question. Now, it is so totally out of control. Just think about this. 2.5 million people have come in the last 2 years. You wonder why you can't get a house. You wonder why your rents have gone up 25% in 4 years. You wonder why our infrastructure is struggling. You wonder why, we have to build.
My advice to, look, this isn't our country, right? But my advice to people that are going to debate guys like him or ask questions at these public forums is ask your question and then make sure that you have the numbers to back up what you're trying to claim. Like, be ready to have, like, hey, the numbers, because he'll cite stats and statistics, and you don't have the ability to look it up right then and there. Like, you need to be ready for their argument, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Are you hungry right now? Not at all.
Israel has an overwhelming lobby over the United States government, and we have unconditionally supported them. We have fought their wars in the Middle East. Bibi Netanyahu came to our Congress in the 90s, told us a list of countries that we need to take out. Some were Syria, Iraq, Iran, Libya, etc. Through those wars, we have lost trillions.
Just because someone gets rich doesn't mean someone gets.
Israel has an overwhelming lobby over the United States government, and
I'm going to ask this question. Does Israel control the U.S.? No, but I just don't understand. Irredeemably linked to Israel. I need something that's like not like a. I need a, like a non-biased account of this. Does Israel control the U.S.? I need a non-biased answer. Yeah. I don't know if this is even like worth it talking about, honestly. Look, we have a close relationship with Israel. We always will. But they don't control us. We have a strong partnership with them. They have influence like many of our other NATO allies do. Or Saudi Arabia has influence, and not necessarily, NATO, but we help them. They help us. We train with their troops. We give aid. We support their government for the most part. It looks like here Washington provides roughly $3 to $4 billion a year in military aid. Yeah, Israel lobbies for its interests through AIPAC and other groups such as Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, Japan, and hundreds of other corporations do. I don't think they own us, though. I think that's a conspiracy theory. It's definitely anti-Semitic. There is a rise of anti-Semitism, and I'm not even going to defend Glenn Beck here. I'm just saying we do have a rise of anti-Semitism in this country, especially with the young people. For some reason, they really hate Jews, and it's pretty fucked up because that's not really you like that attitude isn't based on any fact at all. So.
And we have unconditionally supported them. We have fought their wars in the Middle East. Bibi Netanyahu came to our Congress in the 90s, told us a list of countries that we need to take out. Some were Syria, Iraq, Iran, Libya, etc. Through those wars, we have lost trillions of dollars. We have lost American servicemen.
We're lobbying everybody else, and they will.
No one's clapping. No one's clapping. Charlie was starting to notice about the Israel lobby.
Could I answer my question? Could I answer the question, please?
You're talking about one thing they don't teach in school? They don't teach about the USS Liberty, where Israel literally came, blew up an American ship because they want us to get in their war with Egypt, and they don't teach that in school. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question.
I have a question. Why is there this societal taboo around criticisms of Israel? For example, AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign lobby, but like the Australia lobby does. And it just
that should be changed. That should be corrected.
Just because someone
Well, they should let him answer the question. I'm not like a Glenn Beck supporter or anything, but they should at least let him answer the question, honestly. I just don't understand. I don't know. I think it's just stupid. I think it's to pretend that America is a puppet of Israel. There's no factual nature for that. We have a mutually beneficial relationship with them. We're aligned with them sometimes we're not. I heard Hillary Clinton recently talk about how Netanyahu needs to get out of power, that he's overstayed his welcome. I think that's a fair criticism on Israel. It's proof that we're not a puppet or owned by them. I just think if you're going to ask him a question, then let him answer it. I mean, that's what we believe in here in Cipher Division. We don't believe in propagating anti-Semitism or not letting people answer questions or cutting people off. I just think it's bullshit, honestly. Yeah, it's the same thing as Kanye West said, that the Jews control everything. They control all the major industries in America and the world. That the globalist elite are Jewish people who run everything. That's anti-Semitism. It's anti-Semitic propaganda. There's no factual basis in that. We have support for Israel for many factors. Strategic cooperation, mutually shared technology, Christian Zionist voters, Cold War alliances. These are all things that help and give us ties to them, but it wouldn't be necessarily control. I don't think you can call it control. You can't really prove that. You know what I mean? So if you're going to say something like that, you have to prove it without a shadow of a doubt.
Just because someone gets rich doesn't mean someone gets poor.
Yes, it does.
Explain that to me. When you bought your hat, who got poor?
The people who made the hat.
What?
That's dumb. I don't know.
Just because someone gets rich doesn't mean
Israel has.
Just because
there's a real conversation to be had about what do you call it? There's a real conversation to be had regarding outsourcing labor and manufacturing cheap goods in other countries and not making things here. But I wouldn't say if you get rich, someone else is poor. I mean, okay, whatever, dude. I don't really care. It's always well-off people cosplaying as the poor, like people like Hassan Piker. He is a wealthy capitalist who cosplays as a poor socialist. It's just really sad. I really hate the people that cosplay as poor people. I just think it's disgusting.
Beat one video game completely blind. Holy shit. He said what?
I believe in only two things completely, the First Amendment and boobs. And so once they made the decision that they were not going to allow a conservative, non-sports related commentary, they couldn't do it either.
Hold on. I just want to make sure I heard you.
It is the First Amendment. It's proof of that.
Correctly as a woman anchoring the show. What did you just say? You believe in the First Amendment and BWOBS?
Boobs. Two things that...
Boobs is not a swear word. You can say that, right?
They've only never let me down.
It's not like offensive, right? It's not like saying, it's not like saying titties on CNN. I can see why they wouldn't want to say that, but boobs is a pretty, what do you call it? Like a pretty benign word.
In this entire country's history, the First Amendment and boobs. So those are the only two things I believe in absolutely in the country.
I'm astonished at almost everything I just heard. For somebody to come on CNN and to say something like the only...
You're telling me this guy doesn't believe in boobs? You can believe in that. Why not? I'm astonished at. What is this prude behavior here? I'm astonished that we can't believe in boobs. Come on, dude, have a little fun. Clearly, he's having fun, right? He's making a point that he believes in the First Amendment by saying, "I believe in boobs" on national television, on air.
Only thing I believe in the discussion.
I'm still there too, and I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. BOOZE or BOOBS? Because as a woman, I'm
as in boob. I believe completely in the First Amendment and in boobs. Those are the only two things I believe 100% in this country.
Why would you even say that live on national?
Why is she offended? He's not commenting on her body. He's not commenting, "I believe in yours." He's not saying he wants to do anything to her. He's not harassing her. He says, "I believe in the First Amendment and boobs," which is literally saying that on air, on national television, live, is him practicing his belief in the First Amendment. It's proof. I think it's silly. It's funny. It's a good joke, but it's real. It's real.
Television and with a female host.
I say it live on the radio all the time because it's true, and that's what I do.
I know.
CNN cracks me up, and they lose a lot of credibility when they go, as a female host, it's blah, blah. He didn't say anything about you. He just said, I believe in two things. The First Amendment, which is your right to free speech and say what you believe in and believe in what you believe in and say your opinions without getting persecuted or punished by the government. And also, I believe in boobs on national television, which is proof of him practicing his belief in the First Amendment. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
People who are supposed to be.
Leave it to CNN or a liberal to get offended by such a benign comment like that.
The liberal are against.
What is one song?
This is just sad, man. How many?
I watched the 20 Gay Guys versus You.
That's
all right. Today, Katie Porter. I mean, I don't think she should be elected to anything, but she's entertaining us.
The heart of the disagreement seems to be that Republicans do not think that illegal immigrants should have access to taxpayer-funded health insurance.
And they don't.
So the Democratic position, your official position here, is that illegal immigrants should not have any access to taxpayer-funded health insurance. Does that include federal and state?
Well, the federal law is that undocumented individuals do not have access to Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, even the Affordable Care Act. That's the law. So this is a red herring from my Republican colleagues. They don't want to, help folks out because they needed that money. And this should be pretty simple for people to understand. When they gave that extension of the 2017 tax cuts, which helped out the richest Americans, it was partially paid for by taking away Medicaid and taking away these ACA tax credits for people who just can't afford health care.
Yeah.
What cards do the Democrats have right now?
Well, I don't want to, equate this to like a game. This is not a game. This is very serious.
It's real life, yeah.
We've got folks that aren't able to go to work right now, but on November 1st, individuals are going to get these letters if they haven't received them already.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Some have. There are folks in Alaska who have received letters that their premiums are going to go up from
Yep. Here's the thing, okay? The conservatives always get scared over illegal immigrants getting health care, but here's the truth, okay? Here's the truth. I have this in a tweet right now. I had to pull it up, okay? Immigrants use less health care per capita than U.S.-born citizens, okay? $4,875 versus $7,277 from KFF, okay? Undocumented adults cost less than half per person in public insurance compared to U.S.-born adults. Many immigrants pay more in premiums and taxes than they ever draw out. The real drain is hospital monopolies, pharma makeups, insurer rent-seeking, and administrative waste and corporate consolidation. Okay, if we want a healthier system, we have to fight corporate greed, not human beings trying to get healthcare. Okay, the real problem is the corporate structure and the profit-driven, Goliath that is our healthcare system. That's the problem. It's not immigrants getting healthcare. Stupid.
What do you think about the fact that an estimated 1.4 million women in America are on OnlyFans?
The reason why OnlyFans is popular is because a lot of lonely young men buy OnlyFans.
There can't be a seller without a buyer.
But aren't those lonely young men?
But if there's nothing to buy, you can't buy it.
If there's nothing to buy, you can't buy it. I thought we liked free market capitalism in here. I thought if there was demand for something, not unrestrained by a moral order. Is the government, in your eyes, the ultimate arbiter of what's moral and what's not? No, there's an objective moral order that we can.
I just think I don't really care about this. I mean, I think sex work is wrong. We shouldn't have it. I think it's sad that a lot of women are doing OnlyFans, and I think it's equally sad that men are participating in it. It's gross. It's going to backfire. It'll ruin lives. It already has ruined lives. But honestly, we should just ignore it. We really shouldn't give any clout or media attention to this industry, despite it being so lucrative. We should just focus on the things that really matter. Healthcare, the economy, mass shootings, gun laws, all that kind of stuff. We really shouldn't focus on OnlyFans or sex work. I don't think it really matters, honestly. It's an old profession. It won't go away for a long time. It will damage lives. It has damaged lives. There's historical record and proof of sex work being very, very damaging to the women involved and to anyone else involved. It's gross. We should just ignore it, to be honest with you, so we can move on. I think certain things don't really require attention. I think that's one of them. What's next?
Even Bill Maher had enough of Adam Schiff's games.
Stop talking about Trump. We talk about him too much. We want to tell people what we're going to do for them. Healthcare, environment, those kind of issues. For example, I've seen you on TV a lot in the last couple of years. I know everything you know or that you tell us about the Russian situation. I don't have a clue what you think about healthcare. I've never heard it. Yeah. I don't know whether you're for Medicare for all or improve Obamacare or
I keep turning the lights on. I gotta get a better setup in here, dude. But here's my thing, okay? Bill Maher's right. Adam Schiff, other people like him, other people on his side. The problem I have with them is that, yes, they will rail on Trump. They'll say the right things. They'll condemn his fascism or authoritarian beliefs, and they'll condemn, the hypocrisy from Trump and Trump's camp and the MAGAs in general. But they don't talk about what they'll do for the American people. They don't. They really don't, which is why Democrats lose elections, why they lose support, why people defect from the party, because they're so focused on what Trump is doing. They're so focused on what Russia is doing. They're not even talking about what we should do here for our people in America. You have to give credit to Trump and his people. They at least say that they're America first, right? They at least say, we care about Americans. We're going to make America great again. Conservative liberals, all they care about is shitting on Trump or blaming Russia for everything. They don't talk about anything related to policies here. They don't have any plan, at least in recent memory. They don't have any plan of what to do for the healthcare system, what to do for education. It's all what Trump is doing or what Trump's not doing. And that's not a policy. That's just shifting the blame. That's not having any accountability. And here at Cipher Division, we believe in accountability. But anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Like, share, subscribe, comment. This was a fun thing to do. Kind of look at some YouTube shorts, talk about them. We had some funny ones. We had some serious ones. I really like that blend. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm Scott with Cipher Division. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Spread the word. Join the movement. Let's have a conversation. I'll see you guys later. Peace.